The following is a presentation of Idaho State University Public Broadcasting. Yep, we're still here somehow.
It's Isu After Dark tonight. Squirrels on the loose in the sub parking lot. Public safety takes us on a trip. And it's date night with Ben Gal, his gal, and some usher fighting British folk. And our guest, ISU President Robert Wagner. And now, here's your host, Ben Gal.
All right. Doing homework. All right, Bengals, welcome to another edition of ISU After Dark. I am Ben Gal, and, well, we have a correction to make. You see, early this morning, just after we went off the air with last night's episode, gophers got into the garage of ISU President Robert Wagner. Apparently, he's been stashing big stacks of Chartwell's leftovers from the last few alumni meetings. Maybe he needs a food allowance. I don't know. At any rate, he can't attend our show tonight, unfortunately. Instead, though, we've got an amazing makeup guest. We've got Doug the janitor coming in to hang out with us, so we've got a fun show planned. But first, we got to get into some headlines. Let's jump in and take a look at some more rodent news here. We've all dealt with those rabid squirrels on the quad, and well, it appears as though last night at approximately 11:35 p.m., said squirrels set off a litany of car alarms in the sub parking lot. No word on whether coitus, play, or a brouhaha were the culprits here, but come to think of it, we have been seeing more peanut shells out on the quad. Could this be the equivalent of roid rage? In other news, more construction this week on 4th Avenue means delays during class time, but what exactly does it mean after dark? Well, public safety is saying that construction equipment has been frequently stolen from recent campus construction projects overnight, most notably during last summer's sub-parking lot renovation. Items such as safety cones and power tools were found to be the most often thefted items from construction sites. Public safety says that this could also be a potential tie-in to campus laundromat vandalisms in recent months. Speaking of public safety, there's probably no lonelier gig out there than prowling around the ISU campus at night. I'm talking about for work here. It's got to be hours of boredom, broken up mostly by the occasionally overserved undergraduate who's walking around, heading over from goodies. But since there's always a public safety officer on duty, we decided to take a closer look at their life after dark.
As a 19-year Navy veteran, Skip Hansen is used to dealing with unruly folk. That's why, in an era where ISU has seen its most turnover in the public safety office in decades, Skip is the perfect fit, the only fit.
People skip work all the time. It's bullshit, if you ask me.
In just his second week of orientation, Public Safety Skip is single-handedly keeping the office on the rails in the midst of staff firings, deaths, no-call no-shows, and graduations. On a nightly basis, Skip deals with the underbelly of Pocatello and Bengal culture.
I've seen a lot of skeevy people around campus. There's some dumpster divers, there's some people who walk around campus with their hoods on, and yeah, they're real creeps. Sometimes you get men following women. Gotta kill those men. You know, just the typical shit.
Typical as it may seem for Skip, we figured it may not be so typical for hold-up campus introverts. In an ISU After Dark exclusive, Public Safety Skip took us for a public safety ride-along and showed us some of the most treacherous pitfalls on the ISU campus.
Yeah, I have a lot of people running this stop sign, especially at night. They don't feel it's important. We had a maintenance guy over here backing out, and someone ran the stop sign, smashed into his vehicle, totaled it. Yeah, right before that I saw someone throw their dog shit over there. You know, normal skeevy shit that you see. All these bicyclists need to get off the road, you know? I'm tired of them. They're in the car's way.
Skip also serves as ISU's resident DEA agent.
This shit, pretty sure they're making meth down here. I'm waiting to get stationed in this building so I can crack them. But you know, gotta wait till I have key card access. Here's the office right over here.
As Skip awaits the dean's sign-off on his weapons privileges, he makes do for now with ultra mobility and the CD he accidentally sat on the first night he ever went on patrol just 2 weeks ago. But he knows he will eventually have to upgrade to some more serious, more powerful weapons. Campus has become far too unsafe. Above all, being an ISU public safety officer compares interestingly to the Navy for Skip. He just hopes that one day this thankless job will receive the gratitude that all able and non-able-bodied seamen also do.
Well, in the Navy, we were defending the whole ass nation. You know, we're doing the important shit. Here, You're defending people, but not much is happening because all these liberal hippies or whatever.
All right, we thank Public Safety Skip for joining us. If you or a loved one has a combined 97 years of public safety and or military experience and would love to make pennies on the dollar, consider filling out an application for the ISU Public Safety Squad. You just may be Skip's next coworker. At any rate, we turn from public safety or to potentially the lack thereof. Lately, ISU has seen a massive increase in quad walkers, as we are calling them. These are folks who seem to be skipping the lines at Reed Gym and are getting in their exercise in some rather unorthodox ways. Seeing as though we are closing in on the top of the hour here, let's kick it live to myself out on the quad to see if we can catch up with any late night quad walkers. Ben? All right, thanks me. We're still here with ISU After Dark. We're out here at the quad. We're gonna be looking for some quad walkers, you know? I mean, I think it's a thing we've been seeing here lately, here at the quad, you know, these people walking at night, and we're hoping that we could just like, you know, stumble upon one of them and ask them why they're out here. And I think that's one right there. Oh my God, you know what? Hey, excuse me. Hey. Excuse me, can I get a quick word? We're trying.
What do you think you're doing following a young girl like that, huh? Next time, I'm gonna stab you with this. My friend Wayne taught me that in the Navy.
All right, well, once again, we thank Public Safety Skip for joining us. Fear not, ladies and gentlemen. You see, if Skip would have actually stabbed me just then, a second ago, he's also ISU's resident paramedic, so surely he would have applied life-saving measures in the moment if I had needed them, but I didn't. Anyway, how about those quad walkers, huh? Lots of that recently. So right here, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're stealing lightning. Not really, but me and my gal went on an adventure at the recent ISU performance of Percy Jackson. Stick around, more ISU After Dark coming up right after this. Also, don't forget, amazing guests. We've got Doug the janitor coming in. Stick around.
It's happened to you a million times. You're strolling through Old Town Pocatello and a severed pigeon head crunches between your toes. Or what about when you're in a rush and the stupid ISU students can't comprehend how to navigate a crosswalk? Are you tired of weeds growing out of every Pocatello sidewalk? Or what about the ear-piercing noises ricocheting through the valley every godforsaken day? And here's the kicker. There's no way out, because Pocatello has the #1 worst-ranked public transportation system in the United States. Yep, there's no way out, you constantly mutter to yourself. But what if you weren't hopeless? What if you could find a way out? Well, now you can. Introducing the Pocatello Pass.
Pocatello just wasn't cutting it for me anymore, and that's why I chose the Pocatello Pass.
For just a one-time payment of only $29.95, you can say see ya to good old Pokey and hello to the environment of your dreams. The Pocatello Pass is easy. With the help of our top-notch and fully certified transportation technicians, you'll finally be able to break free of the doldrums of life in the Gate City. Our technicians are fully trained to transport you safely and responsibly to your new neck of the woods with the utmost care and attention to your needs.
Now that I'm out of Pocatello, there's so much stuff to do. I can afford a house now!
I was hoping for a bigger city.
Pocatello will be in your rear view mirror before you know it. The Pocatello Pass, for when you need to get the hell out. Blackfoot Pass sold separately.
I can make this work.
All right, welcome back to ISU After Dark, everyone. If you are a Bengal in a relationship, you are probably just as sick of spending lame Saturday nights at the sub bowling alley as me and Mrs. Gal are. Thankfully, last weekend we had some other options on the table. At Stevens Performing Arts Center, a performance of Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief was held. Because I've been in the doghouse lately for a variety of reasons that we will not get into, I took my wife, a lifelong Percy Jackson stalwart, out to the show. We also decided to invite our British friend Midge along. And well, within the spirit of Percy Jackson, let's just say the night turned into a little adventure. Take a look.
On the night of the Lightning Thief, we showed up to the Stevens Performing Arts Center at about 7:15. Instantly, we realized that just like the rest of Pocatello, the building was experiencing major renovations. It didn't deter us though. My wife is a huge musical fan, and we weren't going to miss this for the world. Neither was our British friend Midge. She's always a little bit fashionably late. I think that's a British thing. Considering her criminal history and her country's history of debauchery, the Lightning Thief was definitely the event for her. So we waited up for her. Again, fashionably late, but fashionably British as ever.
5 years ago, I called these Yanks with fucking tanks blokes, and ever since then, they thought I'm a fucking Englishman. I'm Australian, mate.
Inside the building, a buzz reminiscent of lightning itself captivated teens, tweens, boomers named Christine, and everyone in between. It really was a good mix of folks, although of course there's always a handful of scoundrels who manage to slip past the cracks. We continued to wait for the show to begin, but it seemed like there was some sort of holdup. Just as we thought things were about to take off, tensions began to rise. Midge took offense to the physical actions of one of the theater ushers. Unfortunately, Midge was arrested after starting an altercation with the blonde gentleman. We knew we had to save our best friend, so we drove all over Pocatello and we went to our bank to pull out some bail money. Unfortunately, we got some bad news though. They had a limit to the amount of money you could withdraw, which still wouldn't have been enough to bail out Midge. We scrambled, trying to think of alternatives, when suddenly a beacon of light hit us. Unfortunately, the cash store was closed by the time we arrived. At this point, we had to take drastic measures. My wife gathered all of her most valuable personal belongings. There's only one place left that could potentially get us out of this pickle. But GameStop was boarded up, almost like they were about to shut down for good. Winding back through more rain and construction, we decided to head directly to the police station to see if they would please let her out if we just asked nicely. We waited around for, again, what seemed like several more hours, to no avail. Unfortunately, ICE got involved and Midge was sent to the super prison in El Salvador.
Dead set. What was I bloody supposed to do, eh? Fucking hop around the stage like a jelly? Where I'm from, see-a-roo, fight-a-roo.
Defeated, me and my wife headed back to our apartment. We drowned our sorrows the only way we know how, when suddenly, we heard something strange in the laundry room downstairs. My wife sent me down to check it out, which surprised me because she's a girl boss, and she normally takes care of these types of things herself. When I arrived in the laundry room, things initially seemed normal. And then, the abnormal crept in.
Next week at the Stevens Performing Arts Center, Ice-capades. Well, Bengals, what does it mean? They own me now? At any rate, we thank the Stevens Performing Arts Center and the theater department for having us. The hospitality while waiting for the show to come on and up until Midge punched out the usher were some of the best 4 minutes my wife and I have ever experienced on the ISU campus.
Ben, we've got a note for you.
Nikolai's handed me a note here. Okay, it looks like we have another correction to make. Is this right? Doug the janitor is canceling on us?
Yeah, Doug's stuck at Pizza Hut, says he can't get off shift to come and see you tonight.
Pizza. Doug the janitor has now canceled on us. All right. Well, it looks as though we might not be having a guest tonight, Bengals. Unless there's anybody up right now who might want to maybe pop in for a second. We are live.
We got a control room full of dancers here. Anyone want to go out?
You know what? Let's just take a break here. Let's see if we can just go out and get somebody. let's see if we can get any debaucherous student athletes or late night party animal liberal arts professors in here. Can somebody call Zach up, or like, I don't know. Anyway, we'll be right back. More ISU After Dark coming up. Well, Bengals, we are back, but the news during our break only got worse. We here at ISU After Dark have received a cease and desist notice from Iowa State University, apparently because they have their own late night public access show, also entitled ISU After Dark. So this will unfortunately be our last show. It's just, we really didn't need this, folks. As a matter of fact, John, Tiffany, you guys up there in the control room, maybe could we potentially put this letter up here that they've sent us? I figure the folks might want to see this. Okay, yeah, appreciate that. You guys, thankless tech people up there in the trailer. Yes, this is our cease and desist that we've been sent by Iowa State University. We will be shutting down as soon as our time slot this evening ends, and I've just received another note here. We apparently need to, and I'm quoting this, immediately evacuate the studio of all proprietary equipment in order to supplement Iowa State University stakeholders. Okay, so now we're getting, apparently you guys have a direct video message from the Iowa State Dean. What does he have to say about all of this?
Yeah, this just came in by helicopter.
Greetings, expendable felines. You are now under the control of your cornfield overlords. It was a malapropism of the greatest proportions to name your little cable late night show ISU After Dark. You should have gone with tonight with the Tigers or Bengals or whatever you all call yourselves. In order to supplement the costs of our new studio in God's country, Ames, Iowa, you must sell off all proprietary equipment of the studio or production nature of any kind. Lights out, get some sleep, little kitties.
God's country. Also, is that the quad walker? Anyway, all right, we're here at the green screen. We actually just bought this thing about 4 months ago. Wish we could have used it a bit more. Anyway, it's for sale now. That's right, a nearly brand new, pretty much never been used green screen, only $599.99. I think it folds out if you try hard enough or know what you're doing, but I don't know. I'm not very mechanical. I'm just a liberal arts student that hosts, or I guess used to host a late night public access show. Anyway, if you call the toll-free number below, 1-800-LIQUIDATION, you can put it in, you can put in your offer or your bid, or I don't know how this works, for this green screen, $599.99. That's $599.99. It's going to be great if you want to make funny memes or your own TikTok videos or what have you, or if you have a late night public access show. All right, we do have more stuff to sell. Anyway, up next, these are great for decorating a talk show or your grandmother's sunroom. Fake plants, and this one, I'll admit this is probably a great deal for these fake plants. This is only $29.99 for this entire set. I think this one could go over well. Again, just call this number right below on your screen, 1-800-LIQUIDATION, if you want to throw in an offer for these bad boys. Again, limited supplies only here. There's only one ISU After Dark. Hey, everybody in the control room, how's it going? Are we getting any calls on this stuff? Or?
We get a ton of calls. Everyone wants to know why it's not the dance show yet, but no offers.
I know, everybody's talking about that dance show. We might be in trouble here. Well, next up, we've got the granddaddy of them all right? A brand new, pretty much never been used TriCaster.
Not the TriCaster.
John, I hate to put a bullet in your heart, but they're making us sell the TriCaster. This is a professional grade TriCaster. If you just so happen to be a part of a public access network that happens to be hanging in there, or, look, this TriCaster will spruce up your graphics in ways you'd never imagine. Show that Doppler radar if you're a local news team that hasn't been put out to pasture yet by a giant media conglomerate, Guys, do we have a price on this TriCaster?
Yeah, they're like 30 grand.
30 grand. Apparently Tiffany's in there Googling like how much these things are worth. Iowa State still has not sent us the memo of how much. Okay, now we are getting word that Iowa State is saying the TriCaster is worth $55,555. That's a lot of fives. Amazing. I have no idea whether that's a great deal for a TriCaster or not. John says they're worth $30,000. So you can do anything graphically with this. If you have a TV show or a podcast or any sort of storytelling platform out there, we used to have one of those here at Idaho State University, a storytelling platform, that is. It was called ISU After Dark, or Idaho State After Dark. No. What am I saying? Our show was called ISU After Dark. Over the years, we showed so many laughs, thrills, and adventures that drew us closer together and tethered our experiences as Bengals. I'd like to thank all of you for...
You are now watching Iowa State University Public Broadcasting. We own you now.